Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Eve. And, I'm out here doing some yard work because it's strangely 51 degrees in December um, in Wisconsin, where it's normally snowing on the ground and all that kind of stuff. But, um, it's interesting. Every year at Christmas, we get caught up in the story, and especially as Christians, we love the story of Jesus' birth. We tend to miss one thing, though. And that one thing is kind of obvious and kind of simple. When you look at the Christmas story, and I've done whole sermon sets on this and gone into detail, the Christmas story isn't just for Christians, and it's not even just for the world. Like we always say, oh, it's for the world. The Christmas story was actually very specific. And if you look at it, it's weird because what is actually going on in this story is the fact that God is saying that his son is for every individual person who's out there. Mary and Joseph were true believers. I mean, they understood God, through and through, and they understood it. And, even Mary's sister, who's pregnant at the same time, she's a believer too, but she didn't get to have Jesus. Mary did. Then you've got the shepherds who were working in the field, and if you study shepherds, they were not the greatest people. They weren't really liked. They were kind of the lowdowns of the community. They smelled funny. They were out in the field all the time and all that kind of stuff, and they weren't really even known to be the most ethical people. You have the Magi, and depending on what stories you look into, what history, the Magi were into witchcraft. I mean, they were not the people that you would think God would send his son for. And then you have even the hotel manager, who's just a regular guy. He's just the guy who's doing his job. He doesn't really care about God. Doesn't mean he doesn't like God or that he's not even a believer. He just isn't really focused on that. And then here comes Jesus for all the world. And the Bible says his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. He will be a King of all kings. He'll be a light in the darkness. And even if the darkness doesn't comprehend it, he's here. It's incredible to think what God was saying when he sent his son. This Christmas, if you have time to reflect on this, look into it. Understand that God did not just come for the Christians at church and all that kind of stuff. He came for everybody. He came for you. He came for me. He gave to the people that you don't even like. He came for the people that maybe you don't think should be saved. He came for them all. The scoundrels, the pagans, everybody. He came for them. So think about that this Christmas as you celebrate with your family. He didn't just come for those of us who do the good things and show up to church. He came for so much more. For God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten son, that whoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. That's something to think about. Merry Christmas and be blessed.